Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1 bringing you another toy review. This time I'm going to take a look at the Marvel vs. Capcom Minimates. Here we have Magneto and here we have Zero. You know, Marvel and Capcom. Yeah. Alright, so what is a Minimate? A Minimate kind of looks like a giant Lego figure. Let's see, here's a Lego figure for comparison. As you can see, they're quite a bit taller, but then they're also kind of too short to compare to, about 2 inches. They're kind of too short to put next to a figure on a 3 or 4 inch scale. I mean, I sincerely doubt that Zero is shorter than classic Sonic. Although they do seem to be about the right height for badniks. Yeah, I just might do something with that. I don't know, maybe a G1 Hunter? I don't know. That's for the future. Right now I'm only reviewing. So, here we have Minimate Zero, Minimate Magneto, and they come with a few accessories. Zero comes with his iconic laser sword, and unlike most toy swords, this one is actually made out of some good plastic. It's not all noodly. It's actually has some good stiffness to it. You almost feel like you could actually poke your eye out with it, and I love that. Magneto comes with a couple of effects parts. These are energy things. And you see they kind of look like fire. I guess that's the magnetic energy that goes around his hands. And Magneto also comes with an alternate hairpiece. As you can see, he has ears. And there's a couple of stands. One effect stand and a regular stand. Okay, so let's move and focus on one at a time now. Let's look at Zero. I've already said how nice his accessory sword is, and to make Zero hold it, you just gotta kind of push it into his hand like that, and there you go. He holds it very solidly, and he has some good articulation with that. He has a Minimates. They may look like Lego figures, but their articulation is actually top notch. They have ball jointed shoulders. They have elbows. He has a wrist swivel, so it's all good stuff here. One thing I wish is that that's another thing, that their limbs pop off very easily. I kind of wish that he had an alternate hand that would match his sword wielding hand, because he has his Zero Buster, but I'm pretty sure that well, in my favorite of the Mega Man X games, Mega Man X4, he didn't even use the Buster. He just used his sword. So I kind of wish that, you know, for nostalgia's sake, they would have included an alternate hand. I mean, Magneto gets alternate hair, but Zero doesn't get another hand. He's stuck with gun arm for the rest of his life. Okay, so one minor quibble aside. Alright, any other problems? Well, yes, his shoulder armor, it's not articulated, meaning that it's kind of difficult to get his hands up. You gotta kind of put them up past the shoulder like that to make them go up any significant way. You can still work around it. Also, another problem is that sometimes the joints can be kind of loose. Zero seems to work pretty well. He can, that knee there is a little bit loose, but it still holds up. He can, even without the stand, he can take on some good poses. Problem, look at the foot. It's a square peg and a square hole, so that means that once it's on, he has no foot swivel, and that can hamper some posing options. If they could have found a way to make that peg round, it would have really help the figure a little bit. Okay, so let's move Zero off to the side and take a look at our Magneto figure. Magneto, he has really tiny square feet, but that's okay because his cape kind of acts like a big old tripod curtain. And as long as you're not smacking around with your hand, then he stands pretty well. His articulation, it's the same as Zero's, except that his cape doesn't block his shoulders. This guy has kind of the opposite problem as Zero, is his shoulders are terrifyingly tight. So yes, he has that very Lego figure looking hand. His elbows seem to be backwards. I mean, I don't know. Something tells me that that part should be on the outside. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's just my personal bias or not. I could always switch the left and right arms if I didn't like the look. So yeah, let's see. Like I said, despite looking like Lego figures, these guys are every bit as articulated as a much bigger figure. He has a waist joint. He has ball jointed shoulders and hips. He has knees, elbows. He has even has wrists and ankles for whatever you would want that ankle for. So let's take his helmet off. He has a very intense facial expression. I don't know. I think something that Magneto could have benefited from was another face that had a more neutral expression. And let's put his old man hair on. As you can see, he has ears. It's nice. His little wig comes with ears, and the head is on a ball joint, so it can actually be somewhat expressive. As you know, as expressive as a face painted on a cylinder can be. So, and like I said, since his cape acts as a balance board, he can actually pull off one-legged stances like a boss. And his effects parts, they work pretty neatly. They just kind of slide right over his fists. I said they slide right over his fists. There we go. And booyah! Yeah. And that is Magneto wielding the Force. I never saw any continuities where magnetic force turns into purple hate energy around your hands, but hey, it's not like I'm a scientist or anything. I suppose I can just quickly show off these stands. There is the basic stand. I'll give it to Zero. This is useful if you want to do a running pose with 1 foot off the ground. Yeah, that works. It looks very nice. And then the effects stand is good for if you want to make your character if you want to accidentally knock it off and send it flying off your stove. That's the thing, that this peg is kind of wide. It just barely fits, so you really have to jam it on there. And it's good for flight or jump poses. Like thusly. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, for little 2-inch tall figurines that look like glorified Lego figures, these dudes have a really nice articulation and accessory loadout, and I would recommend them for people who want a nice little desk toy, or someone who's a fan of Marvel or Capcom, or Minimates also has other properties. You can get Ghostbusters, Pirates of the Caribbean, Halo. There's just a very expansive line, and these two figures cost like $9, so you can seriously army build. You can buy a whole bunch of them for a relatively low cost, and they're actually pretty good. I think it's worth noting that that's not a paint scratch. It's actually Zero's Z logo on his shoulder. I mean, it's seriously tiny, and I think, yes, it just barely shows up on camera at the limits of its resolution. So yeah, let's do some awesome action poses, huh? Yeah, posing. Zero running and shooting. Zero readying his sword. Zero down on one knee. Yeah, posing. Posing is awesome. Action figures that can take on poses are awesome. Yeah, posing. Posing. I put some music here, but I don't have any. Posing. Leaping through the air. Yeah, Magneto without his cape. He looks really silly and skinny. So we put the cape and the helmet on. He looks tough and badass. Badass! And then he and Zero fight each other, because it's Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, fighting!